I asked my uncle if he wanted to continue stealing with me. I caught up with my uncle outside the warehouse, the night heavy and thick with the smell of gasoline and wet concrete. My heart was pounding so hard I thought he'd hear it. I looked over at it. "We can't just leave it there," I said, gripping my bag tight. "If we don't move it, someone's going to get hurt." My Uncle Scott looked at me, his eyebrows raised. "Kiddo, are you sure about this? Do you really want to continue stealing like we used to before?" I nodded. I didn't want to, but it's the only way to save this place. The company's dumping unsafe equipment out back. If the truck stays here, someone will get hurt. I've seen it before. Scott rubbed his jaw, glancing at the blinking cameras and shadows stretching across the warehouse lot. "You mean take it before it hurts someone?" "Exactly," I said. "We move it out. We save people. We're careful. We're not doing this for fun or money. We're doing the right thing." Scott paused, glancing at the dark street. "If we make one mistake, we could end up in jail." "I know," I said, "but we can handle it." We slipped into the alley behind the trucks. Everything smelled like oil and wet cement. My stomach twisted with tension. I checked over my shoulder. There was nobody, which was good. Scott followed quietly, his every step cautious. The truck was exactly where I'd seen it earlier. Hazard signs were slapped across the crates, saying things like toxic and unsafe. I whispered to my uncle, "Go!" Scott lifted a box while I kept watch, feeling nervous. This wasn't a thrill. It was life or injury. Then we heard a loud boom. One crate wobbled and tipped. Crap, I thought. Scott and I both froze. Footsteps echoed closer and closer. "Move!" I hissed, grabbing Scott's arm and pulling him toward the side exit. Our bags were swinging, but we were careful not to make extra noise. We hid behind a dumpster. Scott's chest heaved. "We're good? For now," I said, "but we can't wait." The next night was worse. Security guards patrolled us and cameras scanned the lot. I whispered to Scott, "Wait until the path clears." He nodded, sweat on his brow. "This is crazy." I shook my head. "I know, but if we don't act, someone will get hurt. Look, it's all labeled toxic, unsafe. The company's careless. We're the only ones stopping it." We moved quickly away from the bags of hazardous equipment, the crates of dangerous materials. My hands shook, but I focused. This wasn't about cash. This was about stopping someone from getting hurt. Then a siren wailed. Not ours, but someone else. My pulse jumped. "Run!" I shouted, pulling Scott along. We moved through alleys, carrying as much as we could. Scott glanced back, looking pale. "Kiddo, I get it now. This isn't stealing for fun." "No," I said. "This is saving people." The final night, the biggest shipment yet, stacked high with warning labels. Scott's hands shook as we approached. I whispered directions. "We can't mess this up." Everything went smoothly, too smoothly. Then we heard a voice shout, "Hey, stop!" Scott froze. I grabbed his sleeve. "Do it! Get it done!" We ran away quickly, boxes shifting behind us. I tripped, scraping my knee, but I kept moving. Scott followed, yelling, but I didn't look back. Adrenaline pushed us forward. We reached the edge of the lot. I looked at him. "Are you done?" He nodded, breathing hard. "Yeah, that was too close. But you're right. Someone could have been hurt. You were right." I dropped the bags at a safe distance. We both looked at them, relief flooding us. These weren't trophies. They were lives we'd kept safe. We stayed hidden until the lot was quiet again. My hands were still shaking, and I could feel my heart trying to break through my chest. I turned to Scott again. "We should never do this for fun. Only when it matters. Only if it's the only way to stop someone from getting hurt." Scott nodded. "You're right. I'll follow you next time, but only if it's necessary. Nothing else." I took a deep breath. I asked him again, softly, "So, do you want to continue helping me?" He paused, and then finally shook his head. "No. One more time like tonight, and I'm done. But tonight we did the right thing." I looked at the bags, the potential danger we had prevented, and felt a strange mix of relief and exhaustion. Then I had an idea. Wait, if we call this in, we can actually make a difference. Report the company, show the evidence, stop this for good. Scott hesitated. "You think they'll listen?" "I have to try," I said. We took pictures of the crates, logged the serial numbers, and called the safety hotline. By the end of the week, the local safety inspectors were at the warehouse. Scott and I watched from across the street as they tagged the trucks and shut down operations. Some of the employees came out confused, asking who called it in. I just smiled. Not because we got caught, but because someone, maybe dozens of people, were safe now. Scott slapped my shoulder. "You did the right thing. I was scared, but you were right." I nodded, chest finally easing. Yeah, this time it wasn't stealing. It was saving people, and it worked. We walked home, empty bags in our hands, but a weight lifted from our shoulders. I had asked my uncle if he wanted to continue helping me. He said no, but at least we had done our part in helping people.